Welcome to Love Life After, where we embark on the beautiful journey of love, life, and resilience. I am Christelle, your host and friend on this exploration. Whether you're joining us for the first time or you're a cherished member of our family, thank you for being here. On this podcast, we'll share personal tales of triumph, heartache, and the incredible transformation that unfold after every challenge. So grab your favorite glass of wine, cup of tea, or coffee and find a cozy spot and let's dive into this magic of love, life, and everything that happens after the obstacle. And remember, your story is our inspiration, and together we'll navigate this journey ahead.
Baby, you're my coat. She got me feeling like a dope fiend. I'm addicted to a black queen, baby, you're my coat. She got me feeling like a dope fiend. I'm addicted to a black queen,
Have you thought about podcasting but unsure on where to start? Well, we use Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout get your show listed in every major podcast platform. You'll get a great looking podcast website, audio player that you could drop into other websites, tools to promote your episodes, and more. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partner. So join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. So head over to buzzsprouts.com to get started.
a black queen, a black queen.
Welcome back to Love Life After. I am your girl, Christelle.
And I'm Belinda.
And today we have a few more guests. And actually, Joey's coming back, but we have somebody new. But I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself to y'all. Go ahead.
All right. Hello. I'm Giovanni. I'm 34 years old. I'm joining you here from Raleigh, North Carolina. I am originally from Togo, West Africa, and been living in the States since 8 years old. I was a graduate student for quite a while. So between my time here, I went to North Carolina Central University, majoring in biomedical sciences, and also did a neuroscience PhD program, which I'm currently on leave from at the moment. And I'm taking some time, enjoying life, doing a bit of writing, and yeah, that's pretty much where I am currently.
I love it. But I'm going to go ahead and let Jody tell a little bit about himself to you.
Hey everybody, I'm Jody. I'm a songwriter. I sing. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I think I told everybody last time I was a Leo. Very proud of that. I cook. I love to work out. I love to be around family. And I'm just overall just a good time.
See, Joe, I'm still waiting to do the episode about the zodiac. I can't wait because I want to learn so much about it.
Oh, it's going to be really good because
Sweet.
I started getting deeper into it myself.
Yeah? Okay, I can't wait.
You're in the hot seat, guys. Just kidding. No, we felt it was really important for us to have, men. For me, especially Black men, because when it comes to just talking, it seems like Black men don't really want to do a lot of talking when it comes to especially like their mental health or, how they deal with emotions, how their past may have affected, may affect their families or their future, stuff like that. So I'm really excited to just, talk to you guys and find out, anything we can learn, from the Black men. And it's cool because it's, Gio you've been in America for a while, but you're African, so it's a different perspective too, so this is going to be really interesting.
Gio, I kind of want to hear a little bit about you first. So tell me like what a typical day is as a Black man for you. What's the typical day like? Your day to day? What do you do from like morning to Nah, I mean, you don't have to give detail, but I really would like to know, especially like coming from like a self-love perspective, what are some of the things that you do throughout your day?
Oh yes, for sure. I think a typical day for me, from that perspective, is kind of waking up, eating breakfast, showering. Um, I think nourishment is kind of the foundation to my self love. One of the most important foundations for me. So I eat throughout the day. I like plants, so anytime I can get around some greenery, um, that's always very calming and grounding, centering for me. Um, I walk. I walk sometimes outside, getting some air. Um, so from that perspective, that is it.
So wait, how early do you wake up?
Um, so I've been fluctuating quite a bit, but on I guess my more routine schedule would be maybe around 5 or 6 a.m.
Okay, so you're an early person. Okay, okay. All right. And you say greenery, like eating plants or actually like taking care of plants?
Okay. Well, taking care of, so I have a few house plants. So taking care of my house plants, when the space allows for it and the weather, of course, I like gardening. I like gardening a lot. So, I don't have like enough land for like a farm or anything, but growing a few produce, some even like a small herb garden it's always very fulfilling for me.
Oh, that's awesome. I kill plants, so I'm terrible at taking care of plants. So we need people like you in this world.
Me too. Me too. It's kind of exciting though to hear that because I've never actually heard any man. I don't even think knowing you. I never even heard about you saying that you have plants in your, in your home because that's interesting to me. I love that. No, don't get me wrong, but I just never heard a lot of men talking about having plant, and nurturing their plant because it's always like the women. So that's like one good interesting fact. I love that. What about you, Jody, Joey?
Um, Basically, it's very similar. Day
Mm-hmm.
starts at 5. Prepare for work, then come home and then deal with the family. So my Monday through Friday, my days usually typically surrounded by my family, and not so much as me.
We're working on that, though, right?
Um, I guess so. I guess it's safe to say we're working on it.
Yeah.
I want to know how you work on that, Christelle, because how do you work on that? Like
so
when
so we had a talk about him, like focusing on him more, like with his self care and self love. So instead of always just focusing on his family, just focus on him too. His well being, his mental health, because that's number one. Because if he's okay, then his family will be okay. So that's why, because me and him, we had that conversation. So that's why I say we're working on that. Where it's not just so about, yeah, we love our family, but we need to prioritize ourselves first.
Oh, very true. But that's where, last time we talked, working out and,
Mm-hmm.
getting pampered sometimes. Whenever you can fit it in, like try to fit it in.
Okay.
But 95% is family.
Yeah. All right. So let me ask y'all one question. Jody, I keep saying Jody, Joey, because I've been saying Joey forever. That saying Jody is just like second nature. His name is Jody. Okay.
Jody. Okay, Jody. Okay. Because you confused me. I was like, Joey, Jody. I was about to start calling you Joey, Jody.
Well, I say, if that makes you comfortable, because Christelle calls me my childhood nickname. So, Joey, little Joey, that's how it makes me feel.
Oh, so what does everyone else call you? Like, everyone?
Oh, you'd be surprised how many names I have. I have a lot of aliases.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's good then. So if somebody's talking about you, it'd be confusing. They wouldn't know, like, are we talking about the same person? You said Joey. I'm talking about Jody. No, I'm talking about Zaza. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, and it just all just connects together. And they're like, we know who you're talking about.
Okay. I love how Gio, he loves his plant, he loves to eat. Food is very important, y'all. I'm still learning. So I love that. I love that you did share that. And then with you, I love how you're still working out, you're still taking care of yourself, and you're working on loving you more. Correct? So my question is, one of the questions I have, how do you define masculinity, and do you think it impacts how men approach their mental health?
I guess I'll go. You know, crazy thing about the word masculinity is because people can sit here and, use color, pink. They say, that's very feminine, when it's actually just a color. So I really think when it comes to masculinity, the definition is just more so what you make it. Because I know some men that don't take out the trash, and I take out the trash. And I also cook too, but then they may consider that to be a woman's job. So it's just more so what your definition is, as a man. Because can't nobody tell you that you're not a man, especially if you have the organs, So what they gonna tell you? Oh, you're not a man. I went to the bathroom, so it's all there.
Oh God.
I agree with you, though. I do agree that masculinity definitely is. I mean, everyone may have a different, I guess, answer or description, or idea of what that looks like. So, based on also maybe your upbringing and stuff like that, I'm curious. What about you, Gio?
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. There are definitely certain things that are societally more attributed to being feminine or masculine. But for me, the core essence of masculinity is being secure. Whether your traits or your likes and dislikes, opinions are more viewed one way or another, just being secure in your truth.
I like
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's true. Can't nobody tell you anything if you're secure about yourself. Like, oh, you don't like that I cook? That's not masculine enough for you? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I've never heard anybody say it like that. Have you, Jody?
No, that's why when he said it, I was like, oh yeah, that's on point right there.
Okay. So, do y'all think it has anything to do with your mental health?
Not really, because I'm made the way I'm supposed to be made, so I just leave it like that.
I like that. So, okay, Gio?
How do I feel about my mental health or the response?
Your mental health, and then we'll go with your response to how you feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, mental health is for me, I'm sure like anybody else, it fluctuates. There are times where you are more secure, those things. And then of course there are challenging times, and yeah.
Okay.
So I think that is the essence of mental health is being able to ride that out, able to ride the highs and endure the lows.
I have a question for that.
Okay, go ahead.
So I hear what you guys are saying, right? And then being black men, especially in America, like I know y'all's mental health is up and down all the time. Because from the second you step out, it's like people either project, on to you what, their idea is, or, society's trying to tear you down, and then you still have a family to take care of, da-da-da. How do you guys deal with that?
Sometimes you got to step out of yourself and recognize that you're not the only one. We have examples of looking at how black men are. It's so many different versions of us. But then the main one that sticks out is the stereotypical angry black man. And the crazy thing is that you wonder why we're so angry. And then, like you said, we go through life. These things happen, but we have to literally learn how to balance our emotions to deal with it every day. Right. Sometimes we take those lashes and then we have to go sit down and lick our wounds just to sit up here and be okay and not go off crazy and doing 10 to 15 because we done lost our minds. So it's just a matter of stepping outside of yourself and just not personalizing it. Because literally that's just the way how life is. Like me and my cousin would say, like, life has a middle down, bust down, and she has an attitude. And she's taking us all out. But you just gotta learn how to ride that wave a little better.
Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, no, I'm always curious because when I found out I was pregnant and I found out I was having a boy, I cried. I cried because I'm like, oh my gosh, the world is so terrible to black men and black boys. My boys are gonna have to go through this, and so that's why I was curious, to know, as you guys, family man, businessman, like going through school and stuff like that. It's like getting judged a lot. That must be a lot, like holding on or just carrying on your shoulders and just wondering like how you handle it, So you really, I like what you said, Jody.
Oh, thank you.
How do you handle that?
Yes, I love that answer, and I like the way you put it. Sometimes you do have to kind of take those lashes and just go back and lick your wounds, and that is a part of life. You're not out here in the world by yourself, and there's an adaptability aspect that is required to, I guess, successfully navigate. I think one big thing for me is learning that also sometimes you have to go back out and present those wounds, and show your truth, show what is coming out, and not just kind of stuff everything down, handle everything on your own, and whatever that looks like. I guess therapy is one way people do that, but also just recognizing that sometimes you are, and I don't want to say entitled, but sometimes there is, you are to some degree justified for a little pushback, and there also has to be space for that, for, like we were saying, for mental health. You can't just always let the pressures get to you, especially being in the mindset that I have to completely, suppress myself and everything that I am, when that's what you're receiving at times, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense. I like that you brought up the therapy. Have you ever been to therapy?
Yeah, I actually have. I was in therapy for quite some time, maybe a year or so, a year, maybe two.
Okay. Because I know a lot of men are like scared to go to therapy for some reason. From the people that I have talked to about therapy, and they're scared, and I don't understand why they're scared. Can y'all just, like, being that you've been through therapy, can you just give a quick advice as how therapy helped you, or did it help you, or did it not help you?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think you're absolutely right. For a long time, I was of that mindset, like, oh, therapy. Yeah, I don't need to talk to anyone. I can handle things. But I did end up pursuing that route, and it was definitely very beneficial. Different skills that I picked up to deal with and navigate different problems. So yeah, it was very helpful in that aspect, for sure.
Thanks for sharing that.
I know that I know that's been through therapy. Like, that is huge. I hope my African brothers are listening and taking notes, because ain't nothing wrong with therapy.
Therapy is always a good thing to go to therapy, because the tools that it gives you, how to sit up here and just have certain conversations with people, how to look at things from a different perspective, is and plus the person, they don't know you. So you can't sit up here and basically say, oh, no, you're doing this to me because you hate me. That's why you said that. And that's not true. They don't know you. You gave them the information, and then they're giving you a response back to it. And you do with it as you please if you want to grow, basically.
Right. I hear a lot of men, sorry, Krista, I hear a lot of men say that I'm not going to go talk to somebody I don't know. So it's interesting that you guys say they don't know you, so you can tell them anything. But the argument I hear is I'm not going to talk to no stranger that I don't know about my deep issues. You've heard that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, it's crazy y'all say that because a lot of people's like, I'm not doing it. They don't know me. But that's the whole point. Because they're, they can't be, I guess, it's all about being biased. You know what I mean? Like, so if you could just just be vulnerable with somebody who you don't know and just express how you really feel. But you have to be honest. In order for, and I've been telling people this for years, like, but in order for therapy to work, you have to be honest with that person because this person don't know you. And if you go in there just to like lie, you're not getting any help. So you really have to be vulnerable. So my question is, how do you balance the need to be strong and independent with the need to seek support and vulnerability? How do you balance the need to be strong and independent with the need to seek support and vulnerability? It's kind of like similar to what he said about like when you're needing help, you go to therapy. But how do you balance it to be like, okay, I'm a strong man, and independent, but to still seek support and be vulnerable with people?
It's the people that you keep around you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm looking for support and I'm looking to be vulnerable, I'm going to sit up here and I will basically divulge it to a person that I'm comfortable with, somebody who's basically going to allow me to have that moment, but then also remind me that I'm still strong. Have that reminder. Like, it's okay for you to feel the way how you feel, but I know you, and these are just a reminder of all the things that you have done or that you are capable of.
Okay. Gio, what about you?
I'm
taking that in. I'm taking what he said in.
Yeah, no, that's a difficult one for me. That balancing point is pretty tough for me. And not to say that like I'm prone to wanting to be strong because of like the like we were saying, the stereotype of what a man is supposed to be or any of these things, but to be vulnerable, it comes with it can come with some liability at times, in different ways. So that balance is absolutely something I still work to attain.
Okay. Okay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you because I'm not in y'all shoes. But like I just feel like, okay, so as women, right? We feel the need, or society makes it seem like we have to be this strong person for everybody, pretty much. But I feel like men just sometimes, I'm not speaking for, I'm saying some men. I'm not speaking for all men, I'm speaking for some. Just they seem or feel like women have to be strong, right? For everybody. Do y'all feel like you have to be strong for everyone?
Absolutely.
Okay, why?
Because of being a man. A man is always head of household. He's the defender. He's the he brings home the bacon. Everything. Basically, everything. Not everything comes from a man, but he has to take care of a lot of things. So he has to be the protector.
Okay, so do you think being that it's hard for you to be vulnerable because you trying to be strong all the time?
Do I find it
harder for you to be vulnerable?
No.
Okay.
Because that's why I say it's who you are vulnerable with. Some people may use prayer as a way to be vulnerable. some people actually have that person that they talk to. So if you having your insecurities and stuff, you just worried about certain things, whether it be finances or life period, and you just need to just to let one off. You have to let it. You have to, because if not, then it's going to start affecting you.
Correct.
Like it's going to start affecting you mentally.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's with everybody. So, but what about you, Gio? Do you feel like because of what society put on a man, or even you yourself, do you feel like you have to be strong all the time? And is that something that's harder for you to be vulnerable because you always have to be like a strong man, quote unquote?
Well, to be completely honest, I think I have to answer and reflect on that in retrospect.
Okay.
I don't think in moments I am always like, no, that I can't be vulnerable. I'm not actively thinking about that aspect. I think that's something that just comes without thinking. And then I go back and look at times where I can identify where I could have been more vulnerable, where it could have been more beneficial, where I could have found more solace in being more vulnerable. But at the time, it's not necessarily like I have to, or active uh, an active, I guess, action to not be vulnerable or to be strong. It's more so that it's like the path of least resistance. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like your answers. I really do. I just because I hate when society. I don't want to say people, but society make it seem like, man, you have to be this strong. Like raising a son makes me feel like I have to try to do whatever I can for my son to be able to like be vulnerable, to be strong and still be vulnerable too in front of the people he love and trust, to put his trust in those people because sometimes, and I feel like you said, it's the people, right? So that's what it's important for us to like surround ourselves with like trusted people in our life so we could open up to them and be vulnerable to them. But if we can, there's alternative where we could go to therapy and be vulnerable to our therapist. But being that you were saying earlier is the people, right? Because if you don't trust the people, but do you think that's like people are, that's one of the reasons why they're scared to like go trust a stranger as opposed to someone they know and trust? But a lot of the time, they don't want to talk to someone they know or even trust because they don't want to be vulnerable with them. So, what is your opinion about that?
I'm guessing like no man wants to be viewed weak inside of anybody's eyes, especially black men. Like, and then social media doesn't help too because sometimes women be very ruthless on social media about, I don't know if y'all saw the one about how a man is questionable because if a man sleeps on his stomach.
Wait, what?
And one of the girls said, yeah, how are you going to protect me with with your stomach on the bed? Like, I need you to be ready. Like, so you need to be on your back to hop up. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, are we really getting ready to stoop this low? I can't even sleep comfortably now because now my masculinity is being attacked. But that's why I feel like it's better to go to a person that you don't know. But of course, like you're going to analyze this person to see if you're comfortable with them before you start divulging on your information. But it's always best to have that non-judgment zone when you meet somebody, when you meet a therapist.
Yeah.
And plus, you paying them, then you have stipulations too, because they can't tell your business because you can sue them. So it's so many other things that goes along with it.
Yeah.
So I know you guys, said that we talked about basically a lot of men feel like they can't show emotions, right? Because some women may say, they're weak or whatever. And I've actually had this conversation with two other men who said, I would never cry in front of people, especially never in front of a woman, because I've done that in the past and they called me weak, you know? So it's kind of made them like really feel like they have to be macho all the time. So with all that, how do you guys deal with emotions and how does that affect your relationships?
Learning how to have self-control. Because even though men say, crying may look weak, so can anger. Because you're basically having a temper tantrum like a child. Especially, doing road rage and stuff like that. Sometimes it's just not worth it. So, keeping your emotions intact is very important. Mm-hmm. Because you can't just be out here just basically almost like having a man, no offense, ladies, but a man on his period. You don't like that's how it all just looks. So having some more self-control, being able to know when it's a time to cry, know when it's a time to be upset, or how to basically approach situations without your feelings being the first thing, at the forefront, but basically just using your logic, thinking. Now that's more masculine when you start using your brain.
Mm-hmm. Self-control. Self-control.
Do you think that helps with your relationship? Like learning to control your emotions, help with, your partner, your family and stuff like that, makes it easier?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because if my wife is having a bad day and she snaps and she takes it out on me, what am I going to do? Retaliate? I haven't seen you all day. Like, why are you mad at me? So if I'm sitting up here attacking her after she doesn't attack me, you're not getting nowhere. So if she, snaps and I'm just calm, I'm like, all right, well, I'm about to leave you alone. That helps open up a conversation for what's going on and other stuff. And it just keeps the peace at home. And you keep your peace and she keeps her peace and then y'all just peaceful.
I like that.
Yeah, I like the way you said that. Would you say crying can look very weak, but so can anger? But yes, I absolutely agree with that. If I may, I have a question for the ladies. Right. So I also tend to try to keep myself more level-headed and kind of lower energy, especially like during times of disagreement and these things. For me, it's helpful to kind of to try to be more solution oriented, and being at a certain baseline helps me to do that. But how do you feel when you aren't getting, I guess, a certain type of energy from a man in a relationship during certain instances, if that makes sense? Like, can that type of, I guess, being leveled or being more calm, are there negative aspects to it? Does it come across certain ways in certain instances?
Christelle's itching to answer. I'll let you go first.
It's not that I'm itching to answer. I'm like, okay. So I would say, like, for me, the old Christelle would be like what you were saying with the anger thing, right? The old Christelle would jump right into angry, but without, I don't even upset, right? But without really voicing how I feel, right? But now, with lots of therapy, right? I know like how to control, like for example, if I'm not getting something, I just communicate. I communicate how I feel, because I honestly do feel like, going back from what he said, like, what am I going to do? Like, just lose control? I can't do that, because it's not going to solve anything. So I feel like your overall, to answer your question, I think communication really is like the key. to really like get into the root of, you know, everything in any relationship. Because if you're not, nobody, we're not psychic. Just like y'all not psychic, we're not psychic. So if you're not voicing how you're feeling, if you're not communicating how you're feeling, how am I gonna know, or how vice versa? So,
Yeah.
and I know, you know, it's vague, but I honestly do believe communicating is like could break or make any relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I think communication, but I've also learned with men sometimes they don't want to communicate right then and there.
Not
So I
all of
wanted to
them.
say,
Some men, not all
we'll
men.
say some men. We'll
Uh-huh.
say some men. So I, asked like, do you want to talk about this later? Do you want to think about this and process it? Because a lot of men that I've met, you know, they're still processing things as you're telling them. So if you're expecting an answer right off the bat, from them, that's not going to happen. And then you're going to be disappointed. Like I think very quick, like on my feet. The second you're saying something, I'm like, do, 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 do. Oh, okay. This is what it is what we're going to do. But, sometimes like I'm realizing, especially now, like, okay, I'll ask you, do you want to talk about this later? Do you want time to think about this a little bit and then we revisit it? So that way we can kind of talk calmer, more collected, as opposed to, you know, with anger or like frustration, confusion, or whatever. So sometimes having that conversation the next day may be better. Now, I didn't always understand that before. If we're arguing, I wanted to fix it right then and there. Like, let's talk now.
Same.
But now I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Talk about this when we're both calm.
Right.
No, communication, but at the right time.
At the right time. Mm-hmm. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is. Yeah.
So, Gio, are you in a relationship right now?
Currently no.
Currently no. So let
Gio,
me say,
ladies. Sorry, I just had to throw that out there. He's single, girls.
so like, where you did, in your previous relationship, was that an issue for you? Was what you asked us, was that an issue? Is that why you asked? I'm just curious.
Oh, well, I asked more so because I've actually seen or come across people, maybe through like other podcasts, some ladies have like or have the sentiment that if I'm not receiving, a certain level of energy, then they kind of equate that to their partner or whoever they're dealing with not caring about them as much as they might think, and that's kind of what makes me ask: is it, does not? I don't want. I guess I don't want to use the word passion to make it seem like passion is not necessary for a relationship.
Oh, definitely.
To be, excitable in a certain way, especially during times of like disagreement. Does that come across as, oh, he doesn't care about how I feel about this topic? Like, how can you be so mellow about this? I think more from that standpoint.
I think women do.
Doesn't understand you though, in my opinion, Christelle, because
say that again though. So I think I was talking over you. Say it again.
I think that has to do with like the person that you're with, because if they still haven't understood your personality, they, you're not going to get excited because they got their nails done as much as, they want you to. That's not really that big of a deal, However, like, I think over time, once you figure out each other, you're like, okay, this person, this is really important to them. Let me show a little bit more emotion, that they want or whatever. But in the beginning, like, we're wired differently. Men and women are just really wired differently. And so we're not always going to get it right. But eventually, as you continue to learn that person, you'll understand the feelings and you're not going to sit there like doubt yourself because they didn't show a certain emotion or whatever. You're just going to know that's just their personality,
And like, let me say too, just because you marry someone or you're in a relationship with someone or you dated a person for so long doesn't mean you know them, because you never know the person truly. You learn from them every day. You learn who they are every day. Like every day you learn something new, but you don't ever like, I don't care who who it is, Obama, whatever. You every day you're learning something new about your spouse, about your partner, like regardless of what it is, because that's why there's like a lot of problem in different relationship, because I feel like everyone in the relationship sometimes assumes that this person should know me, right? But it's not always like that. That's not always, you have to that's why the communication part is very detrimental to the any relationship. So you have to communicate, because nobody's perfect, but you learning this person every day. So it's easier to say, oh, okay, we're having a conversation. I want things fixed right away. But the person's mindset may not be where yours is, you know? So yeah.
I'm an over communicator though. Like if I say, "Oh my gosh, I got my nails done. They look so cute," and you're like, "Okay," I'll be like, "Listen, I spent a lot of time on this. Show me a little bit more energy." So that's just me. That's my personality.
You like so, and that's the thing. So you need, because the partner know, right? Because you communicated so many times. So you're like, hey, because you need the more compliment. So if your partner is saying, hey, I need more of this, then the next time you get your nails done, he should be like, okay, let me go ahead and let her know, oh girl, like, honey, your nails look good, So that way you feel good about yourself. But if he don't do it at all, then that's where there's like a problem, right? Because you feel like he's not acknowledging what you feeling, or because you want him to be like, oh, I like your nails. But because he didn't do it, you get upset, right? And then a lot of the time women, people sometimes hold that in. I don't want to say women because I don't know how it is on your part. But you hold that in, and then you hold it against the person. And I'm used to be so petty, like I'm not so, because I will hold it against like him a lot. But I learned that, okay, how will he know if I don't tell him this is what I like? You know what I mean? But sometimes it's just a little more reminder. Like, it's okay to keep reminding your partner what you'll like or dislike. Because sometimes, we're not perfect. We forget things. But just that little reminder can help. I feel like it can help in any relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a question, y'all, with what Christelle said. Do y'all feel like men hold things more than maybe women? Like, because if you're not really like communicating, you're angry about what she said or blah blah blah, do you feel like you guys hold things in and then later on you may explode?
I used to, and like it doesn't get you nowhere, because if you're just holding it in and you're like, well, I don't want to say nothing to them because this is the way it's going to be, you have your assumptions about what's going to happen. Like, it basically just it messes up your whole vibe. So just get it off. Like, say what you got to say. That's why, like, when you said that you have to handle things right then and there, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely me. Oh no, have a conversation. I'm not doing this.
So what changed? What changed from what you used to do than now?
What changed?
Mm-hmm.
Me losing some of my hair, because I'm sitting up here stressing, holding this stuff in, and then before you know it, I was bald. And then so it's just like, like it helps put things in the past. It helps you move forward. Mm-hmm. Say what you have to say, but say it and, execute it properly, stick the landing, and then just move on. Because if you holding it in and you want to sit up here and explode 6 months later, 9 times out of 10, you're going to forget what the issue was about, the actual issue, because so many things done attached itself to it. Because you done carried it around, and then this happened. Now that's attached to with the feelings that you already had. Then you going forward, then that's another situation. And then before you know, you explode, and the conversation is everywhere. Mm-hmm. You said this, you said that, and that's not even what you was truly in the beginning mad about.
Nope, absolutely not. All right, I have one question. This question is for Gio. Like, what is your love journey? Like, tell me a little bit about your love journey. I'm just curious.
You tell.
Oh my love journey.
Well, have you? Before you answer that, have you ever been in love?
I have.
Okay, so I know we say you're not in a relationship now, so just tell us a little bit about that journey and how if that helped you in moving forward in other relationship you are now, or has that hurt you in a positive or negative way?
Okay. So I can for sure say I've been in love. Um, I I have to say also I'm somewhat kind of a hopeless romantic, um, to some degree, but but for me, I think one big thing that has come out of my, I guess, love journey is that, um, being in love, being in a relationship, all of these things are very different from, practicing love. And I think that is something that I've had to kind of go backwards on and assess and something that I work on now is, how to practice love in a general sense. Love for my partner, the relationship, and of course myself in the process as well. And yeah, not just how to practice love in a general sense, but in a specific way.
Okay, so
And,
go ahead. If you don't mind me asking, the relationship, were you the person who ended the relationship, or was she the person that ended the relationship?
oh man,
The one that you was in love.
I think it kind of just ended.
It just
It kind of
ended.
just ended. Yeah,
Mutual,
yeah.
What did you
Um,
say, Belinda?
mutual agreement, it sounds like.
yeah, I think so. Agree or disagree.
Okay, okay. So did the what is that relationship? Have you learned from it to? Because at some point, I mean, I feel like sometimes, like when we love someone, I don't know. I've been in a long-term relationship, so I don't want to speak for all women, right? But do you feel like you still holding on to some of that love from the past?
um, I think it's still there.
Okay.
I think, especially for myself personally, like I'm a person that I can kind of cut things off,
Hmm.
in a ignoring type of way, like ignoring the feelings that are still there. Like I can't just boom cut out feelings. Go from whether it's gradual or it's all of a sudden. I can't completely cut away feelings for someone that I have so much or have had so much love for. Um, but I do ignore those
But is
feelings.
that healthy? Ignoring is not healthy, though. Ignoring it is
Right.
not healthy.
Oh, for sure. Ignoring isn't healthy. I think trying to cut the feelings off is also not always feasible. Um, and so it's like when the feelings, right, despite anything around them, the relationship, the people involved, any of these aspects, when the feeling is still there, what do you do? You know what I mean? Um,
Okay.
how
So
to
I'm
incorporate magic of the thing.
I asked that because a friend of mine who said he could cut it off like right there. That once he's done, he's done. And I told him, then you weren't in love, because if you in love, you can't just shut it off like that, like and say, oh, I hate you, I don't ever want to be with you, because that stays with you. Correct? Would y'all not agree? Would y'all?
No,
It's like I feel like any relationship, you can't just like friendships, you can't just cut it up because if you love someone, you're always like thinking about, regardless of how it ended, the feeling is still there, is it not? But depend. That's why I want to know, like, did it end mutually or did it not? Because I want my friend to kind of hear that just because it ended on good terms or bad terms at that, their ended at bad terms. Yours, it was on good. You said mutual agreement. So, but I feel like he's still he's telling me that he has no love for the person at all anymore, but always bringing the person up. So in my opinion, I'm like, you still have feeling towards this person. There's no way that you don't have any feeling. So when I told him I was gonna have y'all, on the podcast today, he was like, I want to hear what there's, is any of them single? And I was like, well, I'm not sure if my cousin still dating anybody right now, but I will ask him about his previous relationship. So I don't know. I feel like I'm still gonna stick to. I feel like there's always feelings there because you can't just cut that off, especially if it's like within 6 months. What y'all think?
I think you can.
You think?
I think you can, because if you are someone who loves yourself, and you realize that a situation becomes one that does not love you back, just because you love somebody doesn't mean they're good for you.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he was in love. I don't think they really would. I don't think the relationship that they were in, that he was in love. That's what I'm saying.
It sounds like he's hurt. So to be hurt, you have had to care for that person.
Right, but that's why I feel like he wasn't. I just feel, me personally, I don't think he genuinely loved that person the way he's saying he is. From what they're saying, from what he was saying happened, he was like, no, it's done. I cut it off. It feel like I've never even loved her before. And I'm like, wait, what? So to me, that doesn't make sense.
No, I think sometimes you can mask things, especially when you're hurt. You tell yourself that I can't keep loving this person. This person has hurt me, or this person is not a good, person for me, or a good situation for me. Like, just because you love someone, if they hurt you like that, I mean, it doesn't mean you never loved them.
What if he was the one? What if he's the one who did the hurting?
Let me think on that.
Right.
He's cut off then, because if he's the one who did the hurt, you're just like, okay, well.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna let you think on that.
Yeah, if he still sounds like he's hurt, like I say,
that's what I say. I know he's hurt because he didn't want the relationship to end. But he didn't want the relationship to end, but he ended the relationship himself because he got caught doing stuff that he wasn't supposed to be doing. And then he had the nerve. This is a friend of mine, okay? And then he had the nerve to say, "Oh, I didn't love her that much anyways." And I was like, wait, what? And then he was like, oh yeah, I did love her. I was in love with her. But I don't know. I think I'm done. I was like, wait, you don't make no sense. Like, it don't make...
Explain this, because I don't understand men language all the time.
I really wanted him to come on today, but he was like, he's not ready for the world to hear him. I was like, okay, enough said, but I'll ask for you. So there he is. But yeah, that's crazy. That's just, but Gio, I hope whoever you end up with in your next relationship, that you take a lot of the stuff that you learned from your old relationship and implement it in your new relationship. All the good stuff.
Are you even looking? Are you even like actively thinking of dating? Because some people, they're like, hey, I'm working on me right now. I'm taking my time. Like, are you actually, because you did say you're hopeless romantic. So are you looking?
Yeah, no, I certainly can be. And I think that's something that, I am prioritizing. And I'm open to a relationship currently, but I'm also making sure that I guess cultivating the me that will be in that relationship takes priority over it. And I think also, what did I want to say? You were saying, I guess, about lingering feelings, right? And something that and also part of that work is understanding that facts are objective, right? They're true. Or facts are objectives. They're concrete. Truths are not as concrete. Something can be true for you. It can be true for a lot of people, but it may not be true for myself, and vice versa. And so I think that that's one of the things for me that opens the door to these residual feelings. Oftentimes is that, like, you can consider who's done what. You can try to cut feelings, and sometimes people are able to just cut feelings completely. But for the assumption is that the relationship didn't work, right? If we're talking cutting feelings, and so being that the relationship doesn't work, in order for the next one to, nobody's perfect, and so part of the work that for me I think always needs doing, regardless of who's wrong, is revisiting instances and identifying, at the very least, what you could have done better. And doing so, regardless of what the circumstances were, can sometimes is of course tied to memories. Memories are tied to feelings, and these things happen, and sometimes you just kind of got to ride it, and that's what I mean by ignoring certain things. Is that hey, I'm doing this self work right now. I'm preparing myself to be more successful in a relationship, and like whatever next time, I cannot let what's associated with that pull me back into an instance that I know wasn't working.
Good. That's good. It definitely sounds like you're preparing. You're working on,
He's single, y'all. If y'all listen to any single ladies, hit him up.
What is Gio looking for in a relationship?
For me, the number one thing is honesty. For me, that's foundational. I think building on honesty, there's, I'm pretty laid back and adaptive, I guess. And so when there's a foundation of honesty, I think things can be done.
Okay. You're not asking for a lot, ladies, so I hope y'all listening.
Right. I have one more question, and then, if y'all have any questions, then we could go on there. Why do y'all, you could answer first, Jody, sorry. Why do y'all feel like men, like, have y'all heard the terms or the statement that men don't like to go to the doctor? So why do you think that is? Because I've heard that a lot.
I don't know why you would not want to go to the doctor.
Well, even my husband, it took me years to get him to the doctor because he was like, he don't want to hear it. But I've heard other people who say they don't want to go to the doctor because they just don't. So what about you? Like, you saying you do go to the doctor, or do you go to the doctor regularly? Do you get checked up?
Absolutely. I mean, if your diet is not the best and you're not working out, like, you really need to go to the doctor. And, even though with all the stuff that I do, working out, eating healthy, I still need to check because, number one, you're older. Then you have to sit here and think about your bloodline. And then you have to just consider just everything, just the sudden occurrences of a lump here, or this isn't working, or what this pain is right here. You have to sit here and figure out those things so you can be your best self. Because who wants to be in a wheelchair at the age of 30? Like, no offense, like, cause but if you can prevent it, do so. Especially even like checking out your teeth, the dentist, and everything. They always said lots of illnesses can come from poor dental hygiene.
Yeah.
So like, think about that. All this stuff is going inside your body, and your body's slowly breaking down. So you want to sit here and it's like when you purchase a car, you want to sit here and take care of it so you can get the most out of it. Now, you can always buy a new car, yeah, but you can't sit up here and get a new body. We haven't got to that point yet in science. So, so I'm pretty sure they'll be, buying bodies like they buy drawers.
What about you, Gio?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, regular visits, making sure you're going to the hospital, to the doctors actually is, I think that's critical. I wouldn't say I don't like to go to the doctors, but I think it may also be tied in with that kind of notion of being strong. And for me specifically, kind of the way I put it is that it's not often like a forward thing where I'm like, oh, I don't need to go to the doctor, or I'm like, I can't show weakness or these things. Sometimes it's just looking back and be like, wait a minute, this is the last time I've been to the doctor. Because we get busy sometimes, and so that's why I use path of least resistance sometimes when it comes to that, is because it takes work. It takes work. It takes scheduling. It takes maturity. It takes discernment.
Yeah, and that's part. I feel like going to a doctor is a part of self-love, right? So you should prioritize. Put that in your, self-care, self-love regimen. Like, just go to a doctor, man. Like, our health is very important. If we're not okay, then what's the point of living?
That's very true. And as women, I know y'all, one thing about it, y'all even have a month dedicated to breast cancer. You see, and that's important. Like, women's health is important. Men should look at it the same way. Just because we don't talk about prostate cancer or strokes and heart attacks because we're underneath a lot of stress, does not mean that you should avoid it. Like, go get yourself checked out, because you don't want to wind up going on in life and then boom, you just not here anymore.
Right, that's true. Yeah. Belinda, you have any questions? Thank you guys for sharing. Belinda, you have any more questions?
Just go to the doctor, guys.
Do y'all have any question for us? No? Okay.
Gio kind of like gave y'all the mother little question earlier. So.
Right. Would y'all come back? Because I want to get more men on, though. I want to get more men. If I get more on, would y'all come back? Because there's so many. I have like tons of questions, but I know, I don't want to keep y'all. It's a Sunday to spend time with y'all family and things like that. So I definitely want y'all to come back.
Yeah. I think for us, we want to let men know that we're here too. Like, we hear them. We want to hear what they're saying. We support them, that their opinion matters, because a lot of times men are like, I'm not going to say anything anyways because you don't care. Y'all don't want to listen to it. Y'all going to say it's weak, or y'all going to... No, we literally care. Like, for us to have better relationships with y'all, for us to, raise our sons the right way, we have to understand y'all, at least to some extent, like, so we care. We're here to support you. We're here to listen to you. We're here to help you. So definitely, remember that, you guys.
Yeah. How would y'all want people to find y'all? I know you share before. Instagram? Jody Zasa?
Yeah, JodyZasa.
Okay. Gio, what about you?
I think probably Facebook. Facebook.
Okay. Wow. What on Facebook?
Yeah, Gio, you better give your Facebook. You single. You gonna have the ladies listening. Come on now.
I'm not even sure what the name is, but you type in Giovanni Anthony, and yeah, I should pop right up.
Okay, well I'll make sure to put Giovanni Anthony in the description box.
Right.
So y'all can go find him. If you're single, he's ready to mingle. But yeah, thank you guys so much for sharing. Like I say always, like sharing your story is very important. It allow us to like learn things about us and other people as well. So I just want to say thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming, for taking y'all time on a Sunday. Y'all did not have to be here, but y'all came, and thank y'all so much. With that being said, thank you so much for listening. We hope you join us next time as we embark on this journey of self-discovery, healing, and building connection. Together, we'll explore the depth of love, the complexity of life, and the limitless possibility that await us on the other side of adversity. If you have any questions, comments, or concern, please email us at lovelifeafter18@gmail.com or hit us up on our Instagram at love.lifeafter. We would love to hear from you and hope you let your story become our inspiration. Peace. See you next time.